Replace the negative with a new memory. One where he sees himself protecting his family by having chosen a car seat and a vehicle that kept them safe, and pride in how his son behaved.
When I see it now, I realize my kid took over. That's me. I trained him, I raised him.
A life-changing therapy that helps the brain reprocess traumatic experiences.
I can help you for any situation that you have that's hard.
So they're remembered differently.
It's tangible. I feel courageous. I feel strong.
Nick Winkler, 5 Eyewitness News.
EMDR is now being offered for free for a limited number of veterans across the state. 25 clinicians have been trained to offer EMDR in the 10 cities you see here. It's called the Minnesota Veterans Resilience Program. Therapists believe that they will be able to help as many as 100 vets. For more information on the therapy, you can go to our links page at ksdp.com.
Horrific details are emerging from the house where 3 women were held captive for a decade. Tonight, the possible punishment the suspect now faces. Plus, just because the snow melted late doesn't mean we're in the clear for grass and wildfires, while the DNR is getting a late start on stopping them before they start. And fishing opener weekend's almost here, but will the lake Governor Dayton's heading to be ready in time? What fishing guides are telling us about the conditions there tonight.
Or even if you don't know a crankbait from a jig, you can still enjoy what they do. They catch walleye.
And in honor of the fishing opener, we learn how to cook up that walleye in a pretty interesting way. Don't miss the fishing fun tomorrow at 3 on Cookies Live.
Plant more than value with Gertens. Gerten grown, the freshest geraniums, just $2.99. 15 rich colors. Gertens large 4 3/4 inch pot. Fresh geraniums from the Gerten greenhouses for just $2.99. Gertens $4.94 and $52 in Grove Heights.
It's your final chance to choose your savings. Through Monday at Becker Furniture World. Choose from our huge inventory of furniture, mattresses, area rugs, and accessories. And get super savings throughout the store. Then you choose how you'll save even more. Get 4 years no interest with no down payment. Or take an extra 15% off at checkout. When you choose, you can't lose. It absolutely ends Monday at all Becker Furniture World locations.
With a new Lincoln, obsession comes standard.
Ready to hit him straight? Let me in. Got your croissant.
Discover what makes a Lincoln during the Lincoln sales event. Get exceptional offers on the 2013 Lincoln MKX and your first month's payment compliments of the Lincoln Motor Company.
One morning I got up to go to work, and I had to try on 5 different outfits because nothing fit. And I thought, that's it. I'm just not doing this anymore. I have to lose this weight. Slimgenics worked for me because how much support you get, how much help you get. I love all the attention that I get. I mean, lots of people are telling me how great I look, and, you can't get enough of that.
This is your year. Lose up to 20 pounds a month. Act now and receive $50 off your enrollment. Call or visit slimgenics.com.
Whether you're on the set or on the street, the first thing we notice about people we meet is their smile. If you're afraid to share yours, go see my dentist, Dr. Scott Shamblot. Shamblot Family Dentistry makes it easy for you to show off your smile, even if a trip to the dentist scares you. Because they offer sedation dentistry. Many patients sleep right through their appointments. Shamblot Family Dentistry will also see you evenings and Saturdays, so you can take care of your teeth no matter how busy your schedule. Shamblot Family Dentistry in Hopkins, comfortable and convenient.
A heart filled with love needs the freshness and beauty of locally Gerten-grown flowers, hanging basket, and colorful planters. This Mother's Day, fill her heart with love, but her garden and home with the freshest, exclusive Gerten-grown hanging baskets, flowers, and planters. Gertens, Inver Grove Heights.
5 Eyewitness News is presented by Gertens in Inver Grove Heights.
Now to headlines around the nation tonight, starting with the latest in Cleveland. Prosecutors said they may seek the death penalty against the man charged with kidnapping and raping 3 women for nearly a decade. Ariel Castro did not say a word while he was arraigned in court today. His bail was set at $8 million. According to a police report, Castro impregnated one of the women at least 5 times and starved and assaulted her until she miscarried. Today we also heard from the mother of Gina DeJesus.
They can smile freely, which is the most beautiful thing in those 3 that went through, that they can actually smile now.
DeJesus and Amanda Berry are spending time with their families now. The other victim, Michelle Knight, is still in the hospital. Meanwhile, Castro's two brothers, O'Neill and Pedro, were released from jail. Jodi Arias will spend the weekend on suicide watch before returning to court next week. That's when jurors are expected to consider whether she should get the death penalty. That same jury convicted her of first-degree murder yesterday for killing her former boyfriend. Minutes after her conviction, Arias said she wanted the death penalty. The horrors continue for the victims of the Boston Marathon bombing. 7-year-old Jane Richard just underwent her 11th surgery. This is her with her family before the bombing. Her 8-year-old brother Martin was killed in the bombings. In a statement, the family said Jane's operation Wednesday closed her wound and will allow doctors to fit her with a prosthetic leg. New tonight, Minnesotans pitched in to help the victims of the Boston Marathon bombings. Coming up, we're going to show you how much money is actually being donated.
Plus, after months of searching, Kira Trevino's body is finally reunited with her family. We talk exclusively with her parents about Kira. Plus, we are live in the Capitol tonight with reaction to a vote to legalize gay marriage in Minnesota.
Great deals on outdoor grills from Minnesota's appliance specialists at Warner Stellian.
If you came to Slumberland and said, I want this sofa, I want 1,000 of them, we'd give you one heck of a discount. That's called buying power. And with over 120 stores, Slumberland has the power to save you big money. That's why you can design rooms that look like this, or this, or this, at an amazing price. Slumberland's buying power turns into your buying power. You get so much more for so much less.
I gotta have that badonkadonk butt. Oh, and a side of back fat.
With greasy fast food, what are you really getting?
Oh.
Instead, try the tempting Subway Smokehouse Barbecue Chicken, a mere 6 grams of fat and part of the Subway Fresh Fit Meal. Subway, eat fresh.
Want irresistible chicken made the way you say? Get to Subway now for the oven-roasted chicken $3 6-inch select. Try it on toasty flatbread with melted American cheese. Maybe spice it up with Chipotle Southwest sauce. Still just $3 every day. Subway, eat fresh.
Blushing Princess, Toffee Twist, Gratefulicious, Amethyst, Purple Fountain, Frosty Night, Dreamsicle, Whirlwind White. Just a few of the 174 varieties of proven winners at Linder's Garden Center, Minnesota's #1 proven winners destination. This week, 14-inch container gardens. Buy one, 50% off. Linders, the garden experts.
CenturyLink has up to 40 meg high-speed internet.
Yep.
And it's just $29.95 a month for 5 years, guaranteed.
Yep.
That beats cable.
Yep. And there's no term contract.
Oh, nice.
Call CenturyLink at 800-996-2565 to get up to 40 meg high-speed internet for $29.95 a month for 5 years when you bundle with unlimited nationwide calling.
That's it, I'm switching.
My work here is done.
Organic Valley farmers treat their cows to a life praising lush pasture grasses because we know it's the key to nutritious, great tasting organic milk. Organic Valley, bringing the good.
Download our mobile app at ksdp.com.
Diamonds, half-carat solitaires, $4.99. 1 carat, $9.90. Certified 1 carats are just $19.90. Thousands of GIA diamonds, guaranteed the lowest price. The latest designer styles set while you watch by Factory Direct, the jewelry exchange in Egan.
Grief mixed with relief tonight for family and friends of Kira Trevino. 2.5 months after she was last seen leaving her job at the Mall of America, police have finally found her body. But there's still a lot of questions. How'd she die? How will this impact the case against her husband, Jeffrey Trevino, now, who's accused of murdering her? Well, 5 Eyewitness News reporter Steve Tellier is here to break down what this means for the case moving forward. First of all, Steve, how significant is this in the case, finding her body?
This is huge. I mean, aside from the fact that obviously she is a human being who has been found and her family is glad that she's been found, she's also now the biggest piece of evidence in this case. This really changes the whole dynamic of what the prosecution and the defense was going to do in this case.
Well, let's talk about the evidence. It sounds like her body's probably been in the river now for months. What condition is the body in? Can the medical examiner get enough information?
Police really wouldn't comment on that today, but they did tell us, just doing the math, the body has likely been in the water for about 77 days. Obviously, that's the condition of the body is going to deteriorate over that time. It might make the medical examiner's job a little more difficult in terms of determining the cause of death.
Jeffrey Trevino is scheduled to go on trial, was it 19 days from now, fairly soon. He's been charged with second-degree murder. Now, if they have a body, you'd think perhaps they're going to upgrade the charges. Has anyone discussed how this is going to go?
Yeah, we talked with the defense expert earlier today, and they basically told us that they fully expect the prosecutor to go after that first-degree murder charge now. That means they do have to take the case to a grand jury, but they do expect prosecutors to do that. As for when the trial is going to start, it's scheduled to start May 28th. This attorney that we spoke to thought that was very unlikely that it would actually start then. He said if he was a defense attorney in this case, he would be pushing for a lot more time to deal with all of this new evidence.
Yeah, they've got a lot of new evidence, so it's likely it's going to be a little later now. But they can upgrade the charges, and it probably, Steve, you would think, also makes it an easier case for prosecutors.
Yeah, absolutely. Before, a lot of their case was going to have to be proving that Kira Trevino is dead. Now, unfortunately, we have that proof.
All right, Steve, thanks so much. Now, today we also spoke with Kira Trevino's parents, Jay and Marcy Steger. They live in Wausau, Wisconsin. The last 2.5 months, as you can imagine, have been filled with anxiety, just wondering if their daughter would ever be found. Tonight, they're devastated, but they're focused on the memory of their daughter.
She would, always smiling. She would give you the shirt off her back.
I feel she had a personality about her that attracted people. You know, she was such a easygoing, caring person, and her personality shined.
Well, the Stegers are planning to drive to the Twin Cities tomorrow so they can meet with investigators and claim their daughter's body. The Stegers will also be participating in searches for these 2 Minnesota women. They're still missing tonight. Danielle Jelinek of Oakdale hasn't been seen since early December. She was last seen at the home of Aaron Schlegel in Chisago County. He has been named a person of interest in her disappearance, but he's never been charged. Today marks 1 week since Mandy Matula of Eden Prairie was reported missing. Her brother is organizing another big search for her coming up on Saturday. Matula was last seen with her ex-boyfriend, David Rowe, who shot himself in the Eden Prairie parking lot 1 week ago and died the following day. We'll continue to follow developments in both of these cases and the Kira Trevino case. Stay with 5 Eyewitness News and KSTP.com for continuing coverage. Bill?
A historic day at the state capitol as the State House approves a bill to legalize gay marriage. A remarkable swing from just 6 months ago when Minnesotans could have voted to ban gay marriage in our Constitution. 5 Eyewitness News reporter Todd Wilson was at the Capitol as that vote unfurled today. He joins us live from the Capitol tonight. Todd?
Well, Bill, lawmakers approved that bill 7559. Right after that vote, the rotunda here at the Capitol erupted in cheers. It was quite a sight at the Capitol today. 4 Republicans joined 71 Democrats voting in favor. In 2011, Republican lawmakers voted to put a constitutional amendment on the ballot banning gay marriage. Now a Democratic majority in the House has voted to legalize gay marriage. We spoke with 2 openly gay lawmakers about this vote.
Well, it's an amazing feeling. It's a historic moment, an opportunity now to take the next step and affirm families all across Minnesota who come together in love.
Grateful, joyful, and so happy. I mean, the Senate has to pass this yet, and the governor has promised to sign it, and so I'm anticipating a big celebration.
Well, on Monday, the bill heads to the Senate. It's expected to pass there, too. And Governor Mark Dayton says as soon as it hits his desk, he will sign it into law. Live at the Capitol, Todd Wilson, 5 Eyewitness News.
And we're at the Capitol with one couple who filed the first lawsuit that began this fight in Minnesota. The couple is celebrating tonight. John Ridman and Tom Trisco have been together for 40 years. As they set out from their Minneapolis home to the state capitol tonight, they realized this is the day they've waited for 4 decades to see. They believe the yes vote improves their finances, health care, and their future.
When you get to our stage of life, you have to worry about things like Social Security and death benefits and nursing home costs.
Not so long ago, they were denied a marriage license in Minnesota. Today, they told us if all this goes through, they'll have a wedding that they've always wanted. If the Senate passes the bill next week and the governor signs it, Minnesota would become the 12th state to allow gay marriage, the third in just the last week. Let's take a look at what the laws are in the remaining 38 states. Minnesota would join the group colored in blue. Most of the country is colored in red. In all of those states, the Constitution bans same-sex marriage, and in some of those states, other specified unions are banned. States colored in pink are laws that ban same-sex marriage. The remaining states in yellow ban same-sex marriage, but do grant certain rights to couples. A new national poll from ABC News and Washington Post finds 55% of people believe gays and lesbians should be allowed to marry.
The Vikings have found a nice place to rent while their new home's being built. A rent check, though, a couple $1 million a year. The University of Minnesota and the Vikings presented their agreement together. This deal is for the 2014 and 15 seasons. The Vikings will pay the U $300,000 each game. Plus, they'll pay another $125,000 a year in a community grant. Vikings will also pay for stadium upgrades. That's things like new turf, heating coils under the turf. They may also pay for temporary seating in the West Plaza if they want it. It was a huge help that the Vikings had already played one game at the stadium back when the dome collapsed.
That one experience was incredibly beneficial for us, one from a working relationship and two from a logistics. So we knew going into this what were the issues.
Now, alcohol will be sold. Tailgating will be permitted. University and Regents will vote on this deal tomorrow. New tonight, this is more than just a fun run. It does look fun with the hare and the turtle there at Nicollet Mall in Minneapolis. Twin Cities in Motion used the 1 mile race to help victims of the Boston Marathon bombings. The group will donate a total of $10,000 from a combination of registration fees and matching contributions. Plenty of runners were out there wearing their blue and yellow shirts to show their Boston Strong spirit.
Our late spring means a bigger threat of grass and wildfires across Minnesota, while the DNR is getting a late start on controlling fires before they break out. Plus, the governor's ready to go fishing this weekend, but is the lake ready for him? We've got the latest fishing conditions from Park Rapids.
The Wild on the verge of playoff elimination tonight, Chicago, and it wasn't pretty early on against the Blackhawks. It was a nice night, though, for a couple of Twins rookies. We've got it all covered. Coming up in sports.
And before the chill came, we had temperatures near 60 degrees.